Dave Wren, there's a bit of a story behind this car from what we understand. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the car is an original Max Wedge aluminum front end car that I was racing in the late 60s. This car was division champion in Superstock in 67. Set a national record at the old Mission Raceway in Superstock D automatic. And I ran the car through 68 and Vancouver Island, and has stayed in Vancouver Island for about 14 years, and I was able to buy the car back 5 years ago. And this time I don't want it to get away from me.
Is it one of your favorites? I know you've had a lot.
Well, it is in that it's the first car that I did well nationally with in division championship, and the car was Superstock runner-up at the 68 Winter Nationals, so that was a big change to my racing.
When did you start racing, Dave?
Oh boy. I made an NHRA drag safari in 1955 or 6 in Deer Park near Spokane.
You've always raced Mopars?
Oh yes, always the Chrysler cars, mostly Plymouths.
And in Superstock Eliminator, that kind of thing?
Mostly Superstock. I did some racing in Pro Stock and the old Street Eliminator with a gas car.
Do you have a favorite car?
Well, I ran my 70 Barracuda Hemi car. I ran the longest. Probably my favorite short-term car was a 64 aluminum nose Hemi car, a 4-speed. I held the national record with it and did well for it for about 1 year.
What would you prefer to drive, an automatic or a stick car?
I prefer a 4-speed car, but it's a matter of economics mostly. 4 speeds injure more parts.
You miss the days of the big wheel stands and banging through the gears and lifting the wheels up and stuff?
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing more enjoyable than trying to pull second gear when you're just looking at sky.
Now, you raced at the old Mission Raceway. How do you compare this track to the old track?
Now, this track's a much nicer facility, much more wide open, good pit area, and the fact that probably the starting line component is much better traction. The track is really well maintained and run.
Okay.
For the time, Mission track was my favorite, even though it had a bit of cramped quarters, but it was always the best atmosphere and the best people running it.
So we're going to see you up here as often as possible this year?
Whenever I can. I run Superstock Eliminator NHRA, but at this time my other car is dead, and I'm playing with my fun car.
Well, it's really nice to see you up here, Dave, and we hope you see you up here a lot.
Very good. Thanks. I'm just hoping that the low gear works this time.
Is it getting a little tired for you?
Oh, the transmission was going bad. I had second gear only the last run.
There's a push-button shifter in this thing.
Yeah, the old original push button. Well, some things never change, but this one needs some maintenance.
Thanks, Dave.